Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show on the Honda Insider Report. Kurt Busch will join us in studio in hour 2. Ben Affleck in hour number 3. And your mock draft is out, sir. Your post-combine mock draft is out. And, oh, my gosh, a couple of things leap out here. Number one, the wideouts that you say are so deep and so talented, and, man, were you spot on. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. You don't have one going in the top 10. That there's so many other talented tackles on either side of the line and quarterbacks that need to be taken with Chase Young thrown in the mix. You don't even have a wideout going in the top 10, Daniel.
No, I think that's a little bit of a factor of if you look at those teams that are picking in the top 10 that could use a wideout. And then the beautiful thing for those teams, they're picking in the top 10 in the second round. So you're going to get a chance in the top of the second round to get a traditional first-round player. So you're not the same can't be said for offensive tackle, and then you'll see it reflected in this mock draft. They are all gone. I mean, I don't know. I think I might have 7 offensive tackles going in the first round,
right?
And we saw them all put on a show. But that's supply and demand. So if you need tackle and a receiver, you better get your order correct. Even though look, we saw how unbelievable the top tier wideouts were with Judy and as well as CeeDee Lamb and Ruggs running what he ran. They're special players. But I think those teams picking up at the top, they're picking up there for a reason, and normally it's because your offensive line stinks. Well, so you better address that first.
Or, you've got a quarterback need, and the issue with the mock draft, certainly now, is free agency hasn't hit yet, and you can never take account for trades in a mock draft. And as you write in your mock draft, I fully expect the Lions to pop out of 3. I fully expect somebody getting jittery about Tua goes up and gets him. I fully believe it that the Lions can just move down to 5 and net some of those picks that Miami has in their back pocket. That said, I want to hit on a couple of quarterback choices that you have made here in your mock draft. Sure. Colts at 13. Jordan Love. Why Jordan Love right there, DJ?
Well, I mean, and this is, again, kind of going off of what you're hearing with free agency. Mm-hmm. And we've had Phillip Rivers as the favorite to land in Indianapolis. There's even been some chatter potentially about Andy Dalton maybe, getting to Indianapolis. So it sounds like they're in the market for a veteran quarterback. But I don't, especially if it's Rivers, this is not a long-term solution there. So as good as their roster is and you bring in Phillip Rivers, I don't see them picking in the top 15 for the next couple of years. So if you want to draft a quarterback that's not ready to play right now, but you can develop for a couple of years and has the chance to be the long-term answer down the line, I just thought a lot of those things made sense with somebody like Jordan Love. You don't have to play him right away in Indianapolis. You've got people that really know how to develop quarterbacks, led by Frank Reich, your head coach. And it just, to me, seemed like a fit of somebody that, look, there's risk. I've said it with him through the whole process with him and Herbert. I think his ceiling is higher than Herbert's. I think his floor is lower. There is risk. But if he can get in the right situation where he can get time to sit, learn, and grow, and then be put into a good spot behind a good offensive line with a good staff, I just thought that made a lot of sense with the Colts there.
Well, that also plays into the analogy that he is potentially, possibly, could be, maybe Mahomes 2.0. And we all know Mahomes sat for his first full year and got his beak wet a little bit in Denver in Week 17. And then we all know they've made the AFC Championship game 2 straight years. And obviously he's an MVP one year for the league and a Super Bowl MVP the other.